Welcome to a brand new episode of No Buts About It. It is Saturday, September 23rd. I almost said it was Monday. And I'm
Yeah, buddy,
here.
you would have been way off.
I would have been way off. I am Josh. I am tired. My throat is sore from singing all that karaoke last night. I'm in my dining room in Indiana. Chuss is in his basement in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's not donning any special gear. The last couple episodes, he's been fitted up. Not today.
Well, I mean, it's Saturday, you know. Honestly, I mean, when it comes, you mean like special fits as in like sporting
Yeah,
fits,
you
or
had
like
like
what do you mean
Steelers
by?
stuff on an episode. You had headbands. You were going wild. Today. You just have an orange shirt on.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, Steelers don't play until tomorrow, so I mean, it just kind of depends on the vibe. And today, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just not feeling it. I mean, usually, in any one of the videos that I make for like for the channel and stuff like that, my independent ones, I always have like some sort of like sporting uh thing on. So, you know.
And this video he's working on is about to be the best video you've ever seen because it has been delayed 3 days.
Okay,
And
well,
now
I wouldn't say that. I've just been very busy. I'm sorry. But
we've we've
I
all
thought I
been
did
busy.
pretty yeah, I thought I've been
We've
doing
both
pretty
been
good on.
busy, but um, yeah, we don't. There's not a lot of news stuff to talk about, but we do have Monday Night Football and tomorrow's games to talk about. So, Monday Night Football, you got the score almost exactly right. The score ended up being
For
30 to
Thursday night.
12. Or yeah, for
Yeah,
Thursday night. Excuse
you
me.
said Monday night. Yeah.
My bad. We're like I said, I'm tired. You said on Thursday or whenever that episode came out that you thought the score was going to be 31 to 10. The score ended up being 30 to 12 in favor of the 49ers. I made a parlay because I thought it was going to be a blowout. I think I said like 46 to 10, and it was insane. It was going to be $10 turned into 2,000. Every leg hit except for Darren Waller getting the yardage he needed because Daniel Jones somehow overthrows a 6'7" man. I'm not salty. Yes, I am. But what did you think of the game?
Yeah, I wasn't really impressed at all by the Giants. When I watched the game, I thought it was very lackluster performance from the Giants. You know, offensively, I mean, defense, they kind of sometimes made some stops, but it wasn't like it was anything like, wow, that was a good stop. It was just a typical football game where the one team was just so much better than the other one. And in this case scenario, you know, San Francisco, they look legit, but also the Giants do not look good. And I hate to say that for the Giants fans out there because I know a lot of Giants fans over in New York were pretty excited, hopeful that this season was going to be a little different. You know, like hopefully on the up and up for, you know, the Giants. But the way I saw these last three games for them, it's not looking too great. You know, 31-28 finish against Arizona last week against a team that's probably, you know, not that good, probably isn't going to be good for the rest of the season. You know, the fact that you only won by like 3 against them, pretty not good. And then obviously getting blown up by Dallas and then only putting up 10 points against San Francisco. Like, I get San Francisco's good, but it does make you worry if you're a Giants fan. But if you're a 49ers fan, man, you guys should be all over like the emotions. You should be feeling it right now because my goodness, the San Francisco 49ers, they're looking pretty legit. And I mean, like I said, when it comes to the Rams, like last week, like that was like a pretty close game, but the Rams are also pretty good. But hey, they held out. 49ers held out. So, you know, I really think that 49ers are legit, but what a boring game from my perspective, and boring as in like there was just no action. Like I enjoyed Thursday Night Football like 2 weeks ago whenever it was the 21-20 final. I feel like that game was a little bit more enjoyable than this week's. You
I
know?
was getting mad at Daniel Jones. He could not hit Darren Waller to save his life.
Yeah. My other friend my buddy, when we were at the bar too, he had a parlay and he needed Darren Waller to get, I think, 40 yards for his parlay.
That was
But he
what
also
I
had,
needed.
yeah, and he had like, it was like Darren Waller 40 yards and then it was like Darius Slayton needed something and then like Daniel Jones needed like some rushing yards or something, and like his parlay wasn't even close. Like
Mine was
he got all
one
the he got all San Francisco's, but he didn't get any of the Giants.
I was ready
So,
to quit my job with that 2K. Um,
uh,
they sparked the San Francisco 49ers sparked an interesting debate, though, I think now. And I still am not sure if I know the answer. I think I have a leaning in this debate, but is Brock Purdy good, or are the 49ers just such a great team that you could literally put anyone in there with a semblance of NFL level ability to go in there and they would succeed? Because I mean, you got Trent Williams, who threw a punch during the game. They were getting pretty chippy. There was a lot of fighting, surprisingly, between those two teams. No one was ejected, but that was a whole nother debate. But Trent Williams, one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. Then you've got obviously George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, is Brock Purdy really that good, or has Kyle Shanahan just made him look that good?
I mean, that's like pretty interesting of a debate because I mean, there's like a lot of, you know, there's like it's kind of hard because like there are some teams that have always just kind of done that, like in the past where they'll be like, oh yeah, like Jimmy, like for example, they were always like, oh, Jimmy Garoppolo, back in San Fran, like, was pretty decent, also had a pretty good team around him. I feel like San Francisco just has a really good team. In my opinion, I could agree with that. But I mean, I guess we'll like come. I want to say like a decade and from now. I mean, that sounds like so long from now, but like just like in a couple years when they don't have those players, like when you get your Kittles retiring, maybe Deebo Samuel like leaves or like one of these wide receivers leave. You don't really know because you can't keep everybody over time. Then I think we'll kind of get like a better idea, a better gist of what Brock Purdy is like fully made of, because right now he looks really good, but it's just a matter of time to see like will this shape up with Brock Purdy, or like or if it's just the team or not. I don't know. I mean, it's a tough debate because there's a lot of players and quarterbacks out there that this debate has happened. So
I don't know if he's the franchise guy right now, because so Mike Florio said he's never going to be a franchise guy because of his name. He said Brock Purdy is not a name that is a franchise quarterback. It's not a Dan Marino, a Joe Montana. It's not a strong enough name, and he said it sounds like Turdy. So Purdy sounds like Turdy, so Brock Purdy can't be a franchise guy. I don't like that logic. I think that's dumb. And I have no idea how Mike Florio still has a job after saying that.
So
What?
I mean, you could say the same thing and be like, oh yeah, Tom Brady is too generic of a name to be like a stud too. Like, I mean, I don't really get where this is coming from, like
Right.
Tom, like, cause yeah, you literally could say that too. You could be like, oh yeah, Tom Brady is just a, like his name is so generic that like, he's never going to be a stud. Well, look at what he did. Look at what he did. I mean, I feel like based off a name, I feel like is so stupid. That is like really, really dumb. So yeah, how does he have a job? Does he have a job?
I hope that was like a clickbait opinion and it just worked. I want to see Brock Purdy in more situations, because he's already been in these, but where the game is going to come down to the quarterback only, where he can't just hand the ball to Christian McCaffrey, where he's got 2 minutes, no timeouts, down by a possession, and they need to score quickly. I want to see him just like take control, him calling the plays, because they don't have time to figure it out with Kyle Shanahan. He's mobile, but I noticed, and this is the first time I really started paying attention to it, was Thursday Night Football, just because of this debate. He seemed to rely on Christian McCaffrey a lot, which, of course, if you have him, you're going to. But also, Deebo got a lot of yards after catch, which pads Brock Purdy's stat line. And so it seemed like he was throwing quite a bit of checkdowns. And I don't know how many deep balls he actually threw. And this game might not be a good reference point because he didn't really need to throw a lot of deep balls because they were ahead the whole time. But I do think that there is an argument to be made that, yes, Brock Purdy has won 10 regular season games in a row. Yes, he got them to the NFC Championship. He's well overperformed what he was supposed to as far as being Mr. Irrelevant, and now he's the starting quarterback for one of the best teams in the NFL. But, I mean, is he necessarily this elite player that is going to change the team? I don't think so. Like, if you threw in Derek Carr, would the team be better or worse with Derek Carr? I feel like Derek Carr is probably the most average quarterback in the league right now.
I mean, you could say that you could be like Sam Darnold. Like if Brock Purdy was hurt, like you could say like, will Sam Darnold perform the same way in that offense? And honestly, yeah, maybe. I mean, I could probably see it. I mean, I think the team is just that. I mean, go figure. Like we said before, Jimmy Garoppolo took that team to the Super Bowl.
Right.
You know, I mean, granted, and that team was very like different from what it is now. I mean, you know, you didn't have, you know, Christian McCaffrey and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure they I don't even remember who their running backs were during that time. It was a interesting year. I thought that wasn't the year of like Mostert, was it? Was Mostert for the 49ers that
Mostert
year?
was drafted in 2019.
Was he in the 49ers?
I
thought he was there.
Jimmy Garoppolo, Kyle Juszczyk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Laken Tomlinson at offensive linemen. So Kyle Juszczyk, who is now the fullback, was apparently the primary running back at the time.
Huh. Well, I mean, they didn't really run that much, I guess. Because I mean,
Tevin Coleman was there as well.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Seeing Matt Breida was there, who's now on the Giants, who we saw on Thursday night.
He did score a touchdown.
I don't see a situation right now where Brock Purdy is the reason this offense is the way it is.
Yeah, no, I don't. I agree. I don't think so either. I mean, I think it's a little too hard to tell. And I mean, he is a field general, but I think the team is just really good. Personally.
Yeah,
I think it's a very good team. And like you said, I think you can pretty much just throw everybody in there. Like, I want to see like how Brock Purdy would do in like I don't even know, like, you know, you throw him in Houston or something for a little bit, see how he would do in Houston, if he can actually perform well in Houston, and then from there maybe, but I don't think the 49ers are going to be like that anytime soon for us to actually like get that notion. But I mean to San Francisco, they're running with this guy obviously he's starting, so obviously they're running with him as the starter. So
right. This isn't even a knock to the 49ers. It's more of a compliment because we're saying that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have built such a great roster that you can put anyone in and they would win. But I hope, and I'm rooting for Brock Purdy. I just don't know if Brock Purdy is the reason they are winning games, or is he just good enough that he's not the reason they're losing?
I think it's just he's good enough that they're not losing. But it's still really good because go figure. I mean, he's still Mr. Irrelevant, you know. So I mean, that's still like a solid thing. Like if he is decent enough to, you know, just be able to manage an offense and like do pretty well. Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's something to be proud of, especially like, you know, because like you could throw any quarterback in that offense, but if they don't perform or anything like that, then where are you at that point? You know, you're going to be losing games and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Brock Purdy. I like the underdog. That's just a debate that's been happening, and I think it's interesting. I do want to move on to talk about these upcoming Sunday night, or not Sunday night. Well, Sunday Night Football is one of them, but Sunday games. We have, first off, the Falcons and the Lions playing tomorrow in Detroit at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What do you think here? Two teams that have kind of been a bit of a surprise. The Atlanta Falcons are 2-0 right now, and the Detroit Lions are 1-1. Of course, they went into overtime last week against the Seahawks, and that's their one loss. And then they beat the Chiefs on the kickoff game for the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting, like how both teams have played. It is worth noting that, obviously the Falcons are surprising. They're 2-0. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are like, for example, like like 0-2 that are a little shocking. That a lot of the NFL analysts have been talking about. But I think for me, I think I'm going to go with the Lions, just because I think they're just a little bit more competitive. I mean, I think the Falcons they beat some teams, but I think Detroit, excuse me, I think Detroit kind of like obviously they beat the Chiefs, and then they kind of went into overtime with the Seahawks, who were pretty good last year, and they're looking for, like that next step in Seattle now with Geno Smith and running that new offense and that newer defense. So I mean, I think it's gonna be Detroit. I mean, I really do. I think Detroit's gonna win. Now, if I had to predict a score, I couldn't tell you, because like I have no idea what these scores are gonna be, dude. Like they could be literally 45-40 for all I know. I mean, usually Thursday night, Monday nights we're good with predicting, but I ain't gonna do all the Sunday games. So, but yeah, I'll go Detroit. I mean, unless you want me to do scores.
No,
I don't know. I'll just
we don't need
number.
to do scores for these. So interesting. So this is an interesting game because the Falcons have a very good defense with Jesse Bates, AJ Terrell, those guys. The Lions don't have as great of a defense, especially because I believe Gardner Johnson is still out. Hutchinson is obviously fantastic, but they struggled on defense last year. Seems like those struggles are going to continue with injury. However, I think the Lions have the better offense with Sam Laporta has been good at the tight end position, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, if he ever gets started.
Jahmyr Gibbs should be starting this week. David Montgomery was ruled out.
Yeah, but now they got that Reynolds guy, so I don't know what they're doing with Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm just mad the Bengals didn't get him. And
well, I'm mad that Minnesota got Cam Akers and now Ty Chandler can't freaking play.
Ty Chandler, he'll play. We're good. Or he'll do something.
I sure hope so, man.
But the Falcons' offense isn't as good. They don't use Kyle Pitts. They have Drake London. They have Kyle Pitts, both first rounders. Drake London had no yardage week 1. Kyle Pitts has never really done anything, which is weird. Drake London had a good game last week in the win over the Green Bay Packers. I think I'm going to go with the Falcons on this game. I think defense wins championships. I like the Lions. I like where they're going, but I think the Falcons' better defense is going to be what puts them over the top here. So that's what I'm going with. I'm also going to be rooting for Jesse Bates, as he is from the same town as me, so got to keep pulling for him.
I'm just going to continue with the Lions. I think they're just going to win. I mean, yes, defense wins championships, but sometimes defenses can be picked apart if the offense is good. Now, if Amon-Ra doesn't play for some reason, which he was a full participant at practice on Friday, he's been dealing with an injury. If he doesn't play for whatever reason, then maybe Detroit might be SOL, but I think they should be okay.
Well, I'm writing down these picks so we can't deny them in the next episode.
No, I'm not going to. I was actually going to write them down too, but
okay, we're on the same page.
I literally had them. You can't see it now. I deleted it because you're writing them down. So
yep, I'm writing them down. So next up, Chargers in Minnesota against the Vikings. The Chargers, I believe, are one of those teams that they're both teams are 0-2, both very good teams, both were playoff teams. So one of them is going to get their first win this week, as long as they don't tie. So it's just a matter of who it is. So who do you think?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I'm going to go with, it's actually kind of tough because like you said, they're both very good teams. So, but something in me just wants to believe that the Chargers will win this. But the problem that I have with it is that Austin Eckler's not playing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have to rely a lot on Justin Herbert, and they're going to have to rely on like Williams and their receivers and stuff. they do have that backup who might do really well, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's like I want to believe in the Chargers, but also like slightly also kind of want to believe in the Vikings too. You know what? I'm going to go with the Vikings. I'm not going
Okay.
the Chargers. I'm not going Chargers. I'm going Vikings. I think, you said Chargers playing at Vikings, right?
Yep, it should be
Yeah.
in Minnesota. Yep.
Yes. Home advantage right there. You got some stud wide receivers. I think Kirk Cousins is fiending for that first win. Have Jordan Addison get 8 touchdowns. Hail to USC, hail to Pitt. Jordan Addison, legend, first round pick. So I'm rooting for Minnesota. And I do think Minnesota is going to win. Now, do I think the Chargers are going to like go and be a terrible team this season? Probably not. But I think they're going to be off to a really, really slow start. I mean, and Eckler is not helping being injured. So
Yeah, so Eckler being out is big, obviously. I'm looking at the Chargers roster here, and it's hard to go against Joey Bosa. But I mean, so you got Joey Bosa, obviously a stud. Khalil Mack is on the other side. You got J.C. Jackson, who was stud with the Patriots, but I feel like he hasn't really done a whole lot with the Chargers. Had some questionable play in week 1 that went viral for a bit. You've also got Derwin James Jr. In that secondary. On the other side, though, with the offense for the Vikings, you have Kirk Cousins. You have Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, Alexander Madison. Okay.
yeah, he's not a
You,
force to be reckoned with like Dalvin Cook was.
yeah, yeah. The Vikings defense is iffy, I think.
You think?
I mean, this is a hard one. This is a close one because Keenan Allen is a stud. Mike Williams is a stud. Even Quentin Johnson can be a stud. That run game is going to be limited with Joshua Kelly being the primary back.
Yes.
I'm going to go. Literally, the only reason I think this could be a toss-up. I am going to go.
I think it's gonna be a close game.
I have no reason for picking the Chargers other than you picked Minnesota. So I'm going to try and get a better record than you right here.
All right. Well, I disagree.
Tight game. So. I think the Chargers are sick of the media talk, and that's why they're going to win. I guess I don't know.
They're sick of the media talk.
Yes, it's a close matchup. Next we got Saints at Packers. This is obviously kind of a rivalry game with the old what was the pass interference, not a pass interference type thing. Was that Marshawn Lattimore that they called that?
Are you talking about the one that I mentioned from like 2018?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that was the Rams.
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah, Rams and Saints.
I feel like the Packers maybe I'm just stupid.
I mean, it might have been different, but the one where like the referee was looking right at the call was, I'm pretty sure, Rams and Saints in 18 or 19. It was the year that the Rams went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Patriots. That would have been, 19?
You're right. I'm stupid. I'm wrong. I apologize, viewers.
You're a little tired today.
I am exhausted. Singing Zach Bryan in the bar will take it out of you. Anyway, Saints hit Packers. Derek Carr and that offense, like I said with them last week, it's not anything special. That defense isn't great. It's okay. The Packers, though, I mean, the Saints are 2-0. The Packers are 1-1. However, the Packers, feel like have been playing better. And I think I just have to go with the Packers until Jordan Love shows me a reason to not pick him.
So, am I allowed to pick the same team as you, or do I have to?
You're allowed to.
Because like you were like, I want to get a better record than you. Well, I don't necessarily believe in the Saints.
I don't.
But I don't believe in them. That when we were watching Monday Night Football and like the Steelers Browns game was on, that they kept cutting into that freaking Panthers Saints game, and my goodness, I did not care at all. And I get it was like, okay, the Steelers, yeah, it's like, oh, your team is the Steelers. Yeah, I get that. No, that game just was not good. Like, at least with the Browns and the Steelers, it was just like good defensive, sloppy football, except for all the injuries and stuff like that. I mean, that was just very unfortunate. I mean, because the game went like an extra 40 minutes, bro. Like that game should have been over like a little bit past 11. It ended at almost 11:45. So you know, I know the Saints are 2-0, but I just don't think that they're like a legitimate 2-0. You know,
Yeah, they're fraud.
I feel like I feel like they're gonna fall off a little bit. So I'm gonna go with Green Bay. I think Jordan Love shows a lot of promise, and I think that team is gonna surprise. So I don't think they're gonna be like some legendary status team this year, but I definitely don't think they're gonna be bad. So
Yeah,
Green
I
Bay.
agree. I agree 100%. Next up, another one that I feel like is pretty easy. Texans at Jaguars. I'll let you pick first.
Well, I'm gonna go with the Jaguars, because the Jaguars are just better than Houston. I really don't have to make any. I don't think I really have to make a point here. Listen, nothing against Houston, but I don't think they're Jacksonville ready. And to go into Jacksonville, nah, it's gonna be Jacksonville. I mean, it's Houston. Houston is showing some promise, but I don't think they're gonna have a winning season this year. And with that said, it'll take time to develop Stroud if he ends up being that guy, but they need a lot of work in different positions before they can really make a run for it. They'll get there, but just not yet. And with that said, Jacksonville is getting there, and they might be there. So I'm going with Jacksonville. Very complete team. Didn't have the greatest showing against Kansas City last week, right? Because they played.
No, they looked horrible against Kansas City. Trevor Lawrence is one of the reasons I lost my fantasy by 4 yards.
Yeah. So, but that game was that also was like a lame game. It was like 19-7 or something ridiculous. I don't even remember what.
I had Trevor Lawrence, Breece Hall, and Nick Chubb. I literally had the worst 3 players at those positions last week. Which Nick Chubb, I don't blame. Nick Chubb, you're fine. Love you.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Breece Hall is mad about his 4 touches already as well, and Trevor Lawrence, do better. Yeah, but I think Jacksonville is going to come out and they're going to be mad about that showing. I don't think they liked that showing. I don't think Trevor liked that showing. So yeah, I think they're going to come out against the division rival and they're going to say, "Hey, no, this is what we can do. This is Jacksonville. Remember us. We aren't going to only put up 9 points and no touchdowns ever again." Right, Trevor?
Exactly.
Next up, Broncos against the Miami Dolphins in Miami. I've got my team.
I gotta go with Miami, bro. I can't not.
I know.
Miami just looks like very good. They look like a very solid and complete team. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but they look like that solid and complete team that, we've been hoping for. And as long as they don't have any injuries or everything goes good, I think Miami they could make a run. They could make a run in the AFC this year. I don't know how deep of a run because I haven't really seen too much from any of the Super Bowl favorites of the Chiefs and Bengals yet, so I can't really say too much. But hey, I mean that there's always time. But listen, Kansas City lost by 1 to Detroit, okay, but you only beat like Jacksonville by like 11. I feel like that's just like a really bold. I don't know. I don't know. They're not showing me that they're ready. Like San Francisco is showing me that they are a team to beat in the NFC. Kansas City's not showing me anything.
I had Mahomes in a league that I lost by a touchdown in a different league than the one that I have Trevor Lawrence. They kneeled down at the 2-yard line instead of scoring. Once Jacksonville used all of their timeouts. It was like the 2, maybe not quite the 2, but they were right there. That one made me mad too. I was like, come on, dude. Just like, it's the NFL. These are grown men. They're not going to make them cry. But yeah, I'm going with Miami as well here. Mike McDaniel, fantastic coach, very fun coach to watch. Russell Wilson has looked better this year with Sean Payton as his head coach, but that Dolphins defense has been pretty good. You got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Raheem Mostert has shown that he can be that guy if he's needed, if Tyreek Hill is locked up, if Jalen Waddle's locked up. I just think this Dolphins team is very good. Definitely the team to beat in the AFC right now, in my opinion, which I think kind of came up suddenly. The Bengals and the Chiefs and the Bills were those teams, but right now I think it's the Dolphins.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, nothing against those other three, but until like the season continues on, I mean, it's really too early to like make that prediction. But if I was to guess right now, Miami is the team to beat, but we'll see what it's like, come 7 weeks from now. Miami might have fallen off by then. It might be, Cincinnati might be, come week 10 or 11 or whatever. They might be 8-2. We don't know what's going to happen. So we don't really know.
Next up, we've been on the same side for the last 3 picks. This might be one where we diverge. Titans at Browns.
Oh man, what a bad game! What a bad game! I man, why don't you pick first? Why don't you pick? Why don't you pick?
I'm gonna go with Nashville and the Tennessee Titans because this is Jerome Ford's first game as the lead back. Kareem Hunt just got brought into Cleveland. He's been there before, but I don't know how much the playbook has changed. There might be something there. Amari Cooper's been dealing with a groin injury. Deshaun Watson is not that guy. He just isn't. I think somehow, some way, Nashville or the Tennessee Titans are going to win this game. Derrick Henry, he's going to do it. He's going to get it done. I believe in him. King Henry.
So you think Tennessee?
I think Tennessee.
Well, I wanted to go with Tennessee, but I think I'm going to go with Cleveland for this one.
Okay.
I think I don't think it's going to be a good showing by either team, but I think Cleveland's going to get it done. I think the defense is going to show up like they did against Cincinnati. I think that they struggled on Monday Night Football because it's the Steelers and it's Monday Night Football and it's home, and Cleveland always tends to lose. And Steelers have won like their last 15 Monday Night Football appearances, so I mean they've got that hot streak going. I mean, I kid you not, like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm going to go with Cleveland. I do. I think Jerome Ford he showed that he can be a good running back. He's no Nick Chubb, but I think that he'll step up, and Kareem Hunt might be that good third down back that they might be utilizing a little bit more than you'd think. So I'm going with Cleveland. Plus, it's the dog pound. The dog pound's coming home.
I got Tennessee. I think King Henry and Tennessee can get her done.
All right.
And then next game, Bills at Commanders.
Now this is a little bit of an interesting one. And the reason it could be interesting is because my boy Sam Howell could pop off here.
Mm-hmm. Sam Howell's going off against one of the better defenses in the NFL last year. Now he's going to be challenged.
Yeah, I mean, what the Bills like destroyed the Raiders, right? Wasn't it last week that they played the Raiders?
I believe so. Let me go look up that score.
I know the Bills destroyed somebody last week. I thought it was the Raiders.
Bills won 38-10 against the Raiders last week.
Yeah, they didn't even. I think the Raiders just forgot to show up after beating Denver. I feel like they just realized that was their big win of the season.
That was their
17-16. So I mean, what's Buffalo been up to? What is Buffalo Bills?
They're 1-1.
Yeah, who they lose to week 1? I don't remember.
Jets.
Oh yeah, because of that whole thing. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, because it turned into
this game. I think is going to come down to Josh Allen, and whether Josh Allen decides to play like Josh Allen or to play like the Josh Allen that we saw in that game against the Jets, where he is throwing the ball to everyone except for his receivers.
Oh man, it's easy for me to say the Bills, but I want the freaking Commanders to win this game so badly. So I'm going to root for the Commanders. I think the Commanders are going to win. It's going to be the upset. It's going to be the upset of the week. Everyone's going to be expecting Buffalo to just like destroy Washington, and I think Washington's just going to go in, win by a field goal, and then call it a day.
I think I'm gonna go Buffalo because I think the Bills' defense is still good enough that they can maybe tire out Sam Howell. Terry McLaurin hasn't been as electric as we're used to seeing from him.
What about Robinson? What do you think about him?
That's true, but they got that front line. You got Ed Oliver up there still for the Bills.
Yeah.
So I think the Bills can lock it up. I think that they can win this game as long as Josh Allen does not decide to throw 3 interceptions. If that happens, you deserve to lose.
Now, I was just gonna say I think Washington's gonna surprise. I'm really rooting for Sam Howell. We'll see what happens, but wouldn't that just be something? Sam Howell, Washington Commanders legend, Sam Howell beats the Buffalo Bills. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Colts, Ravens in Baltimore. I believe Anthony Richardson is out, which means your man Gardner Minshew is starting. They still don't have Jonathan Taylor. I have no idea what their running back room looks like because they've had so many people in and out due to injury or holding out or whatever.
Well, but Baltimore has some injuries too.
That's true. Just so people are aware, the current Colts depth chart at running back is Zach Moss, Jake Funk, Trey Sermon, and Jonathan Taylor, who is out.
James Funk?
Jake Funk. Excuse me.
Jake Funk. No, you said his name right. I thought I heard it wrong. But Jake Funk.
2 carries for 10 yards, no touchdowns. He is a 5'10", 205-pound man out of Maryland. He was drafted in 2021 in the 7th round with pick 233. And that's really all there is about him.
He's if he blows up this week, NFL is going to be talking about how funky he is because of his name. The NFL is going to be like, we're getting funky in Indianapolis.
We're getting some disco graphics.
The Indianapolis Colts are getting funky. Yeah, and then they're going to post that emoji where it's the guy pointing up for the disco.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. The thing is Baltimore also is without Justice Hill this week, so it's just going to be pretty much Gus Edwards. Melvin Gordon might be running back too, I'm guessing, this week. I don't really know. I'm guessing he'd be running back too, just because he was on the practice squad. They said they were going to bring him up after J.K. Dobbins was hurt. And then when it comes to their wide receivers, they're going to have to probably rely a little bit more on like Zay Flowers and those guys because I'm pretty sure Odell's out this week, right?
Yes, Odell is out. Also, I don't know who their running back is because according to their depth chart, Justice Hill out, Gus Edwards playing, Keaton Mitchell IR, J.K. Dobbins IR. So I guess, like you said, Melvin Gordon, but he's not listed on there right now.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering because, it's very odd to me. Very odd. Yeah, because I thought they were going to bring him up, but I haven't heard anything. I mean, I think on Fantasy's projected points, but I haven't really heard anything.
Gus the Bus. It's all there.
So my dream, so I'm just going to do this just because I want to. I'm going to go with the Colts because Minshew Mania is going to run wild in Baltimore. That's it. I have no basis of this at all. I don't think the Indianapolis Colts are that good. If Minshew wasn't playing, I would probably have said Baltimore. But Minshew Mania is running wild. He's gonna be running wild in Baltimore this week. So, and I think both teams are beat up. So I feel like they're not gonna both perform to the same capacity. And I don't know. I'm still a little unsure about Baltimore. I'm not super high on Baltimore right now. I mean, I'm not super high on Indianapolis either. But I don't know. I think that. I think that division's still up for grabs. Yeah, I don't think Baltimore's going to run away with it this year. That AFC North. I know you're going to be like, no, the Bengals are gone.
We gotta make a comeback. Dude, we just signed AJ McCarron today.
Okay, well, listen.
Franchise backup.
Well, Ravens. The Ravens. They're a 2-0 team, and they beat freaking. They beat the Bengals by 3, and then they beat the Texans 25-9. Like, it's not like it was that the Bengals was not that impressive, and I don't think the Texans game was that impressive either. So I'm not really high on Baltimore anyway, but I mean, I don't know. I just think it'd be really fun if Indianapolis just went into Baltimore and won. So I'm going to go with Indianapolis, Gardner Minshew. Everyone's going to be on that Minshew Mania train, I hope. And yeah.
I'm also going to go with Indianapolis, just because Gardner Minshew has already had to come in to a few games to play due to injuries with Richardson. They've won those games. Gardner Minshew used to be a starter in the NFL, arguably, the Colts are 1-1, but they won the game that he came into, I believe. And anyway, Minshew is one of the better backups in the NFL, arguably the best backup in the NFL. So I think he can come in and win that game. Like Chuss said, Ravens have a beat up team. Odell's not there. They're missing some O-line guys. Colts aren't necessarily the best roster in the NFL, but I think they can get it done. So, I mean, Lamar, it's going to come down to containing Lamar. If you can keep him in the pocket, you'll be good. But if you let him run all over you like the Bengals did last week, then you'll lose.
Yeah, no, I'm really rooting for Indianapolis this week. I really am hopeful for that. I mean, I was never really high on AR, but I mean, even though he's not playing this week, I do hope for the best for them. And, I'm glad AR has proven me wrong, but I think it makes it even better that Gardner Minshew's his backup. Listen, I was huge on the Eagles last year because of Gardner Minshew.
Mm-hmm.
And now Gardner Minshew's not there anymore. So it's going to have to be the Colts now. Gardner Minshew and Minshew Mania in Indianapolis. But once that contract's up, I hope he comes to Pittsburgh.
Okay, so next up we have the Mac Jones-led Patriots against the Zach Wilson-led New York Jets. Zach Wilson is still the starting quarterback in New York. They haven't brought in anyone to replace him yet. I think I know who I've got for this game. Who do you have for this game?
I'm going the Patriots.
I'm going the Patriots too. They've looked good the last few games. They don't look as good on the stat sheet, but I think both games that they were just outside of winning. Mac Jones looked good against the Eagles defense, which is still one of the better defenses in the NFL in week 1 when they played. They're 0-2. They lost last week, but that doesn't really concern me. I think if the Patriots lose to the Jets, then we're going to get this narrative of the Patriots just can't finish games, because they've been in both games that they lost, and it just didn't work out well for them. So I'm also going Patriots this week. If you lose to a Zach Wilson-led Jets team, I don't know what to tell you. Also, that game week 2 it was 24-17, very close game. That was against the Dolphins, which we already said was the team to beat. And Raheem Mostert was huge in that game. So, Patriots, easy.
Yeah, Patriots, I think that defense is just going to shut down Zach Wilson. I don't think it's going to even be I want to say it's not even going to be close, but it's going to be, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 28-10 final or something like that. Jets just get pooped on again. I'm sorry, Stan.
Well, if they only get Breece Hall 4 touches, they are going to get pooped on.
Yeah, I mean, so much hype for the Jets, just for the Jets to go back to being the Jets.
Yeah, it's all Aaron Rodgers' fault.
Yeah.
Next game, Panthers at Seahawks. I'm going Seahawks. I'm just going to come out and say
it. I have to go Seahawks.
Bryce Young has shown me nothing. He has shown me nothing that warrants him being the number 1 overall pick so far. Actually, wait. I might change my pick. I just remembered something. I'm changing my pick. I write the rules. I can do it.
Okay, fine.
Bryce Young is not starting for the Carolina Panthers this week.
Andy Dalton is.
My boy, Andy freaking Dalton is starting for the Carolina Panthers.
All right. Well, you know what? I had my fair share with the Gardner Minshew thing. So go ahead,
So
pop off.
we're gonna. I've got it right here. I don't know if you can see that. See, I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, I can see it.
We're gonna.
Yeah, no, I can see it. And I'm sticking with Seahawks, bro. I'm sticking with the C's. The C.
Carr right there. Can you see that? Carr, Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, on my end it's probably blurry, but on YouTube they're going to be able to see it pretty clearly. I'm sure.
We got Josh picking Carr. Come on, Andy Dalton. I believe in you. You got Adam Thielen. You can get something done. I believe in you. I believe in you, Andy.
Is Bryce Young hurt?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, man, they pulled him early, but nah.
Frank Reich was like, dude, the No Buts About It podcast is trashing us. Get out of here.
Yeah, sorry, Bryce Young. We're cutting you.
Yeah, ankle injury. So,
yeah,
Bryce Young is out week 3 against the Seattle Seahawks. But Andy freaking Dalton is in. They've got Von Bell. They got Hayden Hurst. They're just forming the ex-Bengals squad over there in Carolina.
Panthers legend now, Andy Dalton. It's not Bengals legend anymore. It's Panthers legend, Andy Dalton. But I still think the Seahawks are going to win. I think they're just a better team.
I'm going to ride my – I need to phrase that differently. I'm going to ride with my boy, Andy Dalton. Next game.
Yeah, you really need to make sure you word that correctly.
Yeah, Bears at Chiefs. We're moving on from my Bushism. Bears at Chiefs. I think this is another easy one. I started Isaiah Pacheco mainly because they're playing the Chicago Bears. People are saying that Justin Fields has not lived up to expectations, but if you had the expectations of Justin Fields being an MVP, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, ESPN talking heads who said that Justin Fields was going to be the MVP. He showed no indication of that last year. Chase Claypool is not running his routes. He's like sleepwalking them. He said he's going to put in more effort, though. So I do want to see that. I want to see Chase Claypool put in more effort. If he starts doing that, then I'll appreciate him more. And I'm sure he's a great guy, but just on the field, he looks like he doesn't want to play. Chiefs, obviously fantastic team. Bears had a ton of stuff go down with raids that may or may not have happened. I'm going Kansas City. Easy money.
I mean, I would have only went with Chicago if Tyson Bagent went in. So I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Is that like the QB3?
No, it's QB2 because Nate Peterman got cut.
Oh, that's right. So, Nate Peterman got cut.
That's right. So Tyson Bagent, unless he goes in, I'm not rooting for the Chicago Bears. So,
in the middle of the Bears facility allegedly being raided, they were like, get out of here, Nate.
Yeah, they just were mad at Nate for some reason. Even though, like, the Tyson Bagent is, like I said, D2 quarterback from some random college I've never heard of from West Virginia, undrafted 2023 rookie. Very interesting to see him play. So I kind of hope that at some point they would pull Justin Fields so I could watch him play because I think it would be kind of fun. But
that's what we call a stud.
Tyson Bagent. So
undrafted
Kansas City.
Poor Nate Peterman, man.
Man, yeah. He had a bad rap in Buffalo, but you know what?
He gets settled down one place and they ship him out. Okay, next game is sponsored by the Cardinal Rule. Going to be watching his reaction. It's not really sponsored, but the Cowboys at Arizona Cardinals.
You can't say it's sponsored. Can't say it's sponsored.
I don't think Joe is sponsoring an entire NFL game. That'd be awesome, though.
No, let's get him to sponsor an entire NFL game someday. Let's get him. Let's get him. Go subscribe to the Cardinal Rule if you're not.
Yeah, go watch the Cardinal Rules videos. He's very smart. Now, this is another. Although Josh Dobbs, kind of Steelers legend, Josh Dobbs. Are you pulling for him at all?
Legend. Yeah, I mean, listen, I like Josh Dobbs, and I think he showed a lot of promise last week against the poopy Giants. But
are you gonna pick Arizona? Huh?
Yeah, I want to pick Arizona. Yeah,
You're gonna
I'm
pick
going to.
Arizona?
Yeah, I'll pick Arizona.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'll pick Arizona since you're hyping it up. Yeah, I'll pick up Arizona this week, even though they're playing the Cowboys. I'll pick
I'm
up
going.
Arizona. That's gonna be another fluke game. Them and Washington. They're gonna be my fluke games this week because Arizona's home, and I think there's gonna be some sort of fluke. Dallas can't be going on like this forever.
I
I'm
think
telling you what. I
Dallas is
think
gonna have a payday. I'm going with Dallas. They don't have Trayvon Diggs. They don't have. He's out for the season, so that might hurt him a little bit in the secondary. But Micah Parsons is going to obliterate that O line in Arizona.
okay. Well, Josh Dobbs is a stud, and he's gonna get it done in Arizona.
Josh
So
Dobbs and James Conner getting it done.
yeah, screw you.
Pittsburgh.
Arizona, Pittsburgh legends Joshua Dobbs and James Conner. They will get it done.
No,
Um,
Micah Parsons is coming for TJ Watt's sack record, and he's just going to break it during this game to get it out of the way.
yeah. We'll see what happens.
I believe
TJ
in it.
Watt. Nah.
Okay, final game, Sunday Night Football. Steelers at the Raiders. We have a few minutes here. If you would like to discuss what you think your team is going to do.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to do much on offense. I feel like we're going to rely a lot more on our defense like we did last week, and which is going to be kind of annoying because I want the offense to do good. If I had to throw up random stats for Kenny Pickett, I think it's going to be like 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, and like probably an interception. So because I feel like he has just been on pace with those interceptions. So I think he's going to throw two tutties. It's probably going to be like Pat Fryermuth and I guess Pickens. I think those are like his two guys that he likes to, that have scored touchdowns for him. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be, I think it's going to be a slow game. I last year when we played the Raiders, it was a 10-7 final, like right before Christmas. Kenny Pickett did that fourth quarter comeback. The fact that we had to do a fourth quarter comeback is like upsetting to me, but I'm hoping this year it's a little different and we get 2 touchdowns and we win 14-10. So, but I'm going to go for the Steelers. I do think the Steelers have the potential to be good, and I don't think the Raiders showed me anything in these last 2 games at all. They lost by 28 to Buffalo, and then they won by 1 point to Denver. I mean, like, it's not like this Raiders team is anything like super special. And like, I think the Steelers team will have a lot of potential once we get a new offense coordinator. And then like, I think that's when we'll actually have like more of like those 11-6 seasons. Like, I don't know if we'll ever like completely compete for the division for a couple of years, but I do have promise for the Steelers. But I do think that the Steelers are going to win this game. I mean, yes, we're going to Vegas for this one, but I think this is going to be a Steelers win. So
I am trying to figure out how to justify this. I'm going to go with Las Vegas.
You're just doing that because you don't like Pittsburgh.
That is true. That is part of it. I rooted for him last week.
I was going to say TJ Watt got you. Yeah, TJ Watt made you happy.
That's the thing. TJ Watt is so good. He's so annoyingly good. Like, even as a Bengals fan, I know Bengals fans are supposed to hate TJ Watt, but I like TJ Watt. Like, he's dirty sometimes. I know. Don't bring up the 2017 draft.
John Ross. Let me
I have the trading cards of that draft pick. I'm well aware of who we could have had, but Pittsburgh, their offense isn't good, but Las Vegas's defense isn't necessarily good. Although Pittsburgh has allowed, I believe, the most rushing yards of any team in the NFL on average. Josh Jacobs was the rushing leader last season.
And Josh Jacobs stinks this year. He has not done anything this year.
He's got to have a explosive comeback game at some point. And what better time than against the Steelers. He had -2 yards last week. He's not going to let that happen.
His
He's
fantasy,
not gonna...
he had like 9 fantasy points week 1 and 9.9 week 2. I'm like, dude, this guy is the worst pick ever this year. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he is just not living up to the potential.
He is going to be fine. Michael Mayer hasn't really done anything.
Kenny Pickett's going to be fine.
Kenny Pickett's not going to be fine.
Pickett to Pickens, man. Pickett to Pickens. So what's that? What's their like rush like the D line?
It'd be a lot better if they could figure out the Chandler Jones situation. Raiders roster, I feel like it's not great, but
because that could help out Kenny a lot because I feel like we versed some.
Oh, Big Max Crosby.
Okay, Max Crosby
got Mad Max over there. Can't believe I forgot about him.
I forgot about him too.
He's so big, he's got 2 X's. That's why his mom named him that.
I know, but it's just so funny. It's just he's got 2 X's in his name because he's so big.
Well, they had to. So Max Crosby, when he was born, according to his mom, they had to break his collarbone, and so his mom named him Max with 2 X's. Let's see here. Devontae Adams, dude. Yeah. We're having fun. I am feeling way better about this Las Vegas pick looking at this roster. Max Crosby, they have a guy on the team named Divine Diablo. That's awesome.
Well, when the Raiders actually win a game, then we can maybe talk.
I'm going Raiders. They're going to win a game.
They did technically win a game. They beat Denver, but
they're going to win another game on Sunday Night Football. No buts about it.
No, well, the Steelers are not going to let that happen. On Josh Lime, no buts about it.
No buts about it. Raiders win.
Yeah.
End of show. That's
the
end.
Go into your spiel. Your spiel.
Thank you for listening to today's show. If you enjoyed, please, if you enjoyed the show, please give us a thumbs up and leave some comments and hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, you can email Bull Moose Podcast. Just go do it. Thank you for listening to today's show. If you enjoyed, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We can be found anywhere you listen to podcasts and on YouTube at No Butts Show. Our social media pages are NoButts_show on Instagram and No Butts Show on TikTok. My Twitter is Josh_Butts_2001. And if you'd like to reach us, you can email us at bullmoosepodcast2, that's the number 2, at gmail.com. Finally, our spread shop will be in the description, so check out the merch. Once again, if you enjoyed today's show, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us out. Until next time, go do something nice for someone.